Am I the asshole for telling my niece she has control over whether or not she becomes obese? My brother, Tom, has been obese since his early 20s. He drinks 1-2 sodas with every meal. He has a dessert with every meal. He never eats veg. He drinks beer every week. He eats a lot of pasta, carbs, breads. I'm not hating on my brother, but he's obese due to his eating habits. Tom has been with his wife, Amber, since college. They both eat the same. They have a daughter together, Mary. The past 3 years Mary has gained weight. She's starting to eat like her parents, 1-2 sodas per meal, desserts 2-3 eggs a day, no veg, lots of cheese, pasta, bread, red meat. She may be approaching the obese category. It's pained me to see Mary suffer. She stopped riding her bike a few years ago. She doesn't participate in any outdoor activities anymore. She gets winded going upstairs. She's 16. I haven't said anything until now because I don't want to fat shame her. I still love her regardless. But I can't help but worry about her health and happiness, not to mention she has gotten a lot of cavities over the past several years. Sea of sugar. Last weekend I went over to Tom and Amber's house to have lunch outside. At one point Mary's parents went inside, so my niece and I got to hang out alone for a little while. She seemed sad and I asked what was up. She told me that she had mentioned wanting to lose weight to her parents. They basically told her that weight was all genetics and she had no control over her weight, and she'll eventually be the same size as they are. My niece brought me into that conversation saying, well, Op is your sister, she's not fat. I could have those genes too. I didn't really know the best way to talk to her about it, and I didn't want her to think what her parents said was true. So, I told her that there is a healthy way to control her weight if she's not happy with it. I asked how much soda, dessert she usually eats. I told her one thing that would help was to drink water with breakfast, lunch, dinner and only have soda as a treat. I also told her to try only having a dessert only 2-3 times a week, instead of with every meal. I told her that over time reducing her intake of things like soda and sugary snacks will slowly lead to weight loss. I said that would help with cavities too, as soda and sugar are bad for your teeth. I figured that was safe enough advice, that I wasn't fat shaming her, and that it would be pretty much okay to tell anyone to cut back on soda and store-bought treats with every meal. Tom and Sil are angry at me. They told me I'm giving her unrealistic standards to live by. And that I've now changed their daughter, C. Apparently she has taken my advice and is asking for water instead of soda now. And won't eat the dessert snacks they buy. Edit. I did not think this post would get this much traction. After reading everyone's comments, I think I'm more angry than anything. I'm angry at my bother and Sil for basically abusing my niece with extremely unhealthy food options. I have some ideas on what I can do to improve my niece's life. I will try to update in a couple of weeks, if allowed, on what may happen in the future. Thank you everyone. Sorry I couldn't reply to all the comments. Not the asshole. This almost seems abusive in a way, like they want her to be overweight. Edit forgot to put judgment. Not the asshole. You're being realistic and helping her out. Small things lead to big changes. If she wants to lose weight, she got to start small and go from there. It's also on her parents to get their heads out of their butts too. You may need to look out for her. Parents like that will try to sabotage her journey. Wow, okay, I am usually fully prepared to give a YTA for people talking to folks about losing weight because I am a cranky internet fat lady, but not the asshole, as long as everything played out exactly the way you put it. She asked for your advice and you gave a very practical response back that doesn't require time, money, sneaking around, giving up things she likes, or starving herself, and it sounds like her parents are not respecting her bodily autonomy at all. I will say that it might have made a little more sense to encourage her to talk to her doctor at her next checkup. She's 16 and everything she talks about with a medical professional is supposed to be ETA. Might be, depending on where you live, confidential at this point. Not the asshole. Her parents are killing her. They are setting her up for a lifetime of failure and an early death. She needs to know that her weight is within her control and she can absolutely change it if she's not happy with her physical ability. They were the ones outright lying to her. You are not the asshole for correcting straight lies to a kid who didn't know any better and had never heard anything different. Not the asshole. I'm sorry. Drinking water with meals and only having soda and dessert 2-3 times a week is impossible standards. They are actually angry their daughter is trying to be healthy instead of obese to the point where stairs are hard. Are you sure these people are fit for parenting? Not the asshole. The advice you gave your niece was not unsolicited, and it sounds like you gave it in a sensitive and caring way. It makes no sense why your brother and Sil are upset by their daughter wanting to make healthier choices. Hopefully they come around and don't end up forcing her back into old habits. Absolutely not the asshole. You just stated a medical fact. This isn't even a controversial opinion. You have the sensitivity to notice that something was wrong, and I'm sure you handled the conversation gently. Not the asshole. That was not fat shaming. She brought it up, and you gave her really good and important advice. You didn't tell her to go on a strict diet or insult her, you just told her some small changes she could make. I wish someone had told me how terrible soda was at that age. The fact that her parents told her she has no control over it was wrong. They are probably worried about having to change their lifestyle or don't want to be proven wrong. It's so selfish. Not the asshole, but I would tread carefully in conversations with teenagers about diets and weight loss. It sounds like your advice was good, but you should also tell her to talk to her doctor privately about it at her next checkup. The last thing anyone wants is genuine and helpful advice to spiral into an eating disorder if she starts to feel too much guilt and shame about her weight. Not the asshole. You told her the truth. It is up to her to make healthy choices. I know lots of people who never learned to eat right until they were out on their own. You didn't tell her to go on a crash diet. It sounds like her parents don't want her to learn to eat healthy. Not the asshole. You helped your niece not sure what's wrong with her parents and why they're so mad. Not the asshole. It sounds like your brother and Sil have that mentality in order to avoid taking responsibility for their own health, but doing that to their daughter is not cool at all. I'd tell your niece to consult a nutritionist. Trying to diet by yourself can be dangerous. Not the asshole. Drinking less pop and eating less dessert is not an unrealistic standard. Convincing a child that they're doomed to a life of obesity because they don't want to change is disgusting, and if they actually believe that their status is due to genetics and not the loads of bad food they inhale is unrealistic. Not the asshole. Nothing you said to her even comes close to fat shaming and was actually very good advice. Soda is just plain awful for you, and limiting the amount she drinks is a good idea and not extreme in the least bit. It's very irresponsible of your brother and Sil to be so arrogant about their unhealthy lifestyle and provide nothing but junk for your niece to eat and drink. They are setting her up for a lifetime of health problems by doing that. Not the asshole. You gave her some options to start that don't require her to ask for new food or buy it herself. Drinking water instead of juice or soda for even 2 meals does wonders. You also didn't tell her to go cold turkey. Dessert is okay, just not every night. I think you should talk to your brother and let him know that you didn't give her unrealistic expectations. But if he can't or won't help her, she may get discouraged without guidance or turn to unhealthy methods. You're not the asshole. They're probably embarrassed, assigned themselves to their fate, and don't want to put in the effort to make healthy changes. There's so many health benefits you've given her. Advise her to look into what makes a diet healthy, and remind her gently to focus on eating healthily, not just losing weight, so she doesn't get obsessed with losing weight by turning towards an ed. You're doing the job her parents failed to teach her, and you're doing this girl an incredible service. By having her make these changes whilst she's younger makes it easier to build good habits for life. Not the asshole. I think you did a good job of nudging her towards a healthier diet. Even if she's genetically disposed to be a bit larger, she still shouldn't be consuming that much sugar. Good job, thumbs up. Not the asshole. I was that 16-year-old too. My mom and sister were literally whale-sized and I was too. I changed my diet and it made my mom so angry. How dare I want salads and water over McDonald's and soda? She took personal offense to me wanting to be healthy and told everyone I was anorexic when I began losing weight. You are helping set your niece up for a healthy life. Not the asshole. Thank God to you for giving good, reasonable, sound advice to your niece. Clearly her parents aren't. Not the asshole. Your brother and Sil are, in my opinion, abusive. Encouraging health hazards is not what decent parents do. Not the asshole. She asked for your advice and you were thoughtful, helpful, and careful not to be judgmental. Your brother needs to stay out of his teenagers wanting to cut back on soda. What the fuck is he even thinking, being upset at that? I'm fact, if you have the time and your niece feels like it and still has her bike, you mentioned she stopped riding. Maybe you could spend an hour riding bikes with her every so often so she can slowly get used to being a little more active again. Not the asshole. You gave the most basic and safest advice. Mary may not lose weight, but she is going to feel a heck of a lot better. Not the asshole. I noticed an article yesterday in the news about 2 children being taken into foster care because they are extremely overweight. They were given Fitbits, gym membership paid for, counseling, and supposed to be following WW. The children have not lost any weight and parents are not encouraging any kind of exercise. You are doing the right thing. She asked you for advice and you gave really ideas. As others suggested, have her talk to her doctor so she has backup. If you gave her this advice unsolicited and unwelcome, you might be the asshole, but she communicated to you her concerns and you were kind and well-intentioned. Not the asshole. Not the asshole you gave your niece information she needed to hear and it's working. Let her know you're on her side because she is seriously going to be fighting crabs in a bucket mentality. Not the asshole at all. From someone who's still fighting the weight battle, a little bit of kind and intelligent advice like yours would have gone a long way. Not the asshole, you are the only one doing right by this kid. If you know how to cook, it might be good and fun to teach her how to cook some simple healthy meals as well, as I doubt her parents are feeding her particularly healthy meals either given their habits, and being able to cook is an important life skill everyone should have. Not the asshole as an overweight person wanting to lose weight. I can relate, and though my problem does not come from overeating, I can only encourage you to continue helping that way and putting a stop to her parents. My family and I recently started to change our whole eating behavior. And I've learned that diets are not restricting at all. I used to eat once a day or every 2 days. Now I eat 3 times a day and the healthy things I eat are delicious. And it's motivating if you have other people do it with you. Not the asshole because your niece was the one who brought the issue to you. She clearly knows that you've got a healthier lifestyle. She might need some help to feel that she can reach her health goals, but don't keep framing it about her weight. Ask her to go bike riding with you, or for a walk, or come over and cook a healthy meal, depending on restrictions, distance, etc. Sounds like you're a pretty good aunt to have around. Not the asshole. As someone who actually struggles with weight because of genetics, health issues, people like your brother really piss me off. Your niece's parents sound borderline abusive, and I'm certain your niece will really appreciate your advice since it's so much harder to change your habits when you get older. Not the asshole. How can anyone possibly be an asshole for encouraging a child to drink more water instead of soft drinks? I don't even need to read the whole post. Being overweight is a choice. End of it. NTA. What they are doing amounts to child abuse. They are angry they can't make their child fat. If she had a healthy lifestyle and still was big, then yes, it's genetic. But only someone with an insane metabolism and God-given supergenes could have the lifestyle they have and not have weight and teeth problems. Your brother is willing to risk his own daughter's health to not have to deal with his own shitty decisions. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Let's say they are right and it is genetic. Cutting down sugar and eating healthier diet would still benefit her. It would look after her teeth, and she probably would have better mental health. Even if she stayed the same weight but was eating healthily and getting exercise, she would definitely be healthier in general. Plus, it's easier to create healthy habits when you are young. Not the asshole. While there are so many factors that impact weight, your advice was sound and your response supportive. She had broached the topic with you and you handled it with grace. Not the asshole. Dude, this is child abuse and I'm sick of people pretending it's not. Not the asshole. What you did was the kind thing to tell your niece. It was also very good advice. She can lose weight. Your brother and Sil are angry because if the daughter loses weight by skipping sodas and a lot of dessert, it means they can't blame their genes for being obese. Not all heroes wear capes. Not the asshole for sure. You did a good deed. Not the asshole. And maybe I'm the asshole for saying this, but providing healthy and nutritious meals, to the best of your ability, and enough exercise for your kids is one of the basic parenting duties. Failing to do so to the point where kids already have health issues at a young age, is borderline abusive to me. You terrible person. Giving someone easy and relevant advice. How could you tell this poor near adult the exact advice she could easily Google and from a person she respects? You really should have thought that reducing sodas and desserts is easy advice to follow. Not the asshole. Literally water makes her folks mad. The pediatrician is happy. They have already been told to avoid sugar ad nauseum. If I had an award to give you, I would. So here's a poor girl's award star. Decidedly not the asshole, and here's why. Her parents buy into the HAES genetics bullshit and are never going to take the responsibility to own up to their actions. This will rub off on your niece and she will start her adult life not having any healthy habits. Relearning nutrition and developing a healthy lifestyle is hard to do when you have no starting point. You are her starting point since her parents are failing to provide that. You're awesome and you're loving your niece so much that you want to see her happy. Keep encouraging her and being a stellar aunt. Not the asshole. You have given her a gift, the knowledge that she can control her life. What an awesome aunt you are. She has taken control instead of blaming someone, something else. It's a shame that they cannot be legally in trouble for abuse. I'm glad she took your advice. It's not genetics. It's eating habits. She eats like them and as a result is getting overweight like them. I used to be really heavy and like them, you just don't realize that you were eating too much food. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. When I read the title I thought you would be, but in the post, you were just trying to help. Not the asshole. My family was the same way when I was little. Told me it was genetics and I couldn't do anything about it. It wasn't until I moved out and could buy my own food, fresh fruits and veggies, join a gym, etc. that I was able to get fit. And I was so much happier. You did the right thing. Not the asshole. They are literally killing their daughter. Not the asshole. I'm going to guess that they believe that weight is purely genetic because that lie allows them to continue their eating habits while trying to avoid feeling guilty about it. By telling their daughter something different or challenge that idea, and they'd rather not deal with thinking they just might have been wrong about weight being solely genetics. NTA, your niece needs you more than ever. Obesity is not genetic. Not the asshole. You did the right thing and your niece will thank you for it one day.